Meet Kevin. 6 months ago, Kevin realized his salary wasn't keeping up with the price of groceries. So he decided to take control. He downloaded a rideshare app, figuring he could drive 15 hours a week, make an extra $1,000 a month, and finally crush his credit card debt. The math looked simple. 15 hours times $20 an hour, about $1,200 a month. It felt like free money. Kevin felt productive. He felt like he was hustling, grinding, doing what successful people do. But last week, Kevin actually sat down and did the math, the real math. Over 6 months, he grossed $6,200. But he also drove 4,200 miles. When he applied the IRS standard mileage rate of 67 cents per mile, which account for gas, tires, maintenance, and the slow destruction of his costs came out to about $2,800. That left him with $3,400. Kevin worked 360 hours. His real hourly wage was $9.44 an hour. That's less than the minimum wage in his state. And it gets worse. Kevin wasn't building wealth. He was slowly liquidating the value of his car into cash, dollar by dollar, while destroying his health. He thought he was a business owner. In reality, he was acting like a payday lender to himself, charging his future self a massive interest rate. Kevin isn't an anomaly. He's the rule. Welcome to Eco-Realnomics. Over the past few months, I've been analyzing what I call the side hustle economy, and what I've found is uncomfortable. The system is designed to make you work more hours while building less wealth. If you feel like you're working 2 jobs and still falling behind, it's not because you aren't grinding hard enough. It's because you fell for a mathematical lie. And if you want to stop trading your life for pennies, you should subscribe. I call this lie the side hustle squeeze. It's the gap between the income Instagram gurus promise you and the profit you actually keep after invisible costs eat you alive. A recent survey found that 39% of Americans have a side hustle, earning an average of $810 a month. That sounds life-changing, until you realize that's gross income, not profit. The squeeze lives in the details. Let's start with the gig economy. A study found that once you account for unpaid waiting time and payroll taxes, the median wage for gig drivers falls to between $10 and $12 an hour. And that number still ignores accelerated depreciation. If you drive an extra 15,000 miles a year delivering food, you're not earning money. You're extracting equity from your car and calling it income. You're aging your vehicle years ahead of schedule and pretending it's a paycheck. Think freelancing is safer? Think again. You bill $50 an hour, but for every paid hour, you spend another hour writing proposals, chasing invoices, and dealing with stress. Your real rate just dropped to $25 an hour. Subtract self-employment tax, and you're effectively making about $21 an hour. You didn't get a raise. You took a pay cut disguised as freedom. But the financial costs aren't even the biggest problem. The real damage comes from something most people never calculate: opportunity cost. If Kevin spends 15 hours a week driving just to net $120, it feels like a win. But what if he spent those same 15 hours learning a high-value skill? Research shows that workers who invest in skill development often increase their earnings by 10 to 20%. Learning something like SQL, sales, or data analysis could permanently raise a $60,000 salary by $12,000 a year. That's not a one-time gain. That's a recurring raise. Instead, Kevin traded that future fortune for $9 an hour tonight. He stepped over dollars to pick up dimes. Then there's the health tax. Sleep deprivation alone costs the economy hundreds of billions of dollars each year. When you grind nights and weekends, you're borrowing energy from tomorrow. Kevin's immune system crashed. He missed days at his main job. His performance slipped. He missed a promotion, not because he wasn't capable, but because he was exhausted from his so-called side hustle. So why do we do this? Why do millions of people fall into the side hustle squeeze? Because of something called cognitive bandwidth. You have a limited amount of mental energy each day. Every decision, whether to accept another order, how to deal with a rude client, what task to do next, drains that energy. Decision fatigue is real. And here's the cruel irony. The people who need the extra money the most are the ones who can least afford the mental cost. You become so busy working in your life that you have no capacity left to work on your life. You're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. This is low leverage work. Your income is capped by your hours. True wealth, the kind of passive income gurus love to talk about, comes from high leverage, assets, code, systems, or content that keep working when you're not. But you can't build leverage when you're exhausted delivering food at 11 at night. So how do you escape the squeeze? First, calculate your true hourly wage. Track every minute, commuting, waiting, stressing. Divide your net profit by that number. If it's lower than your day job, quit. Second, apply the replacement test. Ask yourself, if you spent those hours resting or learning, would your primary career grow faster? Right now, you probably see yourself as a grinder. You wear exhaustion like a badge of honor because society taught you that busyness equals value. It doesn't. I want you to change your identity. Stop measuring your hustle by how much you sweat. Start measuring it by what you build. Don't be Kevin. Stop liquidating your future for pocket change. I've spent far too much time doing this math, so you don't have to. If this video saved you from a bad side hustle, like it, subscribe to Eco Realnomics, and I'll see you in the next one.